Vietnam's real estate market wasn't just shaky, it collapsed. Locals and foreigners are facing serious obstacles. $337 million worth of assets, all to cover unpaid debts. On paper, this looks great, but foreign investors especially are feeling the pinch. If you're scratching the surface, then this recovery might be nothing more than just window dressing. The high prices are not driven by real demand, but rather driven by speculation. The owning of land as a foreigner is not what you may think. On the surface, it may seem like there's a recovery, but if you dig deeper, then the cracks will start to show. So in my opinion, Vietnam's real estate market, back from the dead or just pretending to be alive? That's the big question. But here's a spoiler alert. The answer is a lot more twisted than you may think. Just a year ago, Vietnam's property sector was in full-blown crisis. Banks auctioning off luxury hotels, foreclosures everywhere, and scandals dragging down investor confidence. And now, all of a sudden, the real estate is bouncing back. Call me skeptical, but we are not buying it. So in this video, we will dissect the recovery that everyone is raving about. From legal landmines to government solutions and the speculative bubble that's harder and harder to ignore. We are diving into the details to let you know what is real and what is just smoke and mirrors. So if you're thinking about investing into the real estate market in Vietnam, stick around because what you don't know could cost you big. So let's get started and make sure that your investment plays to win. So after 10 years of making videos, we still hope that there are many new people to our video. So if you're new to our channel, my name is Ken Duong, international business immigration attorney with over 15 years of helping foreign direct investment, especially in real estate, to invest into the Vietnam market. And recently we've helped a ton of Vietnamese overseas to buy real estate in Vietnam, and today we'll continue talking about the impacts of the real estate market. So let's start with a reality check from last year. Vietnam's real estate market wasn't just shaky, it collapsed. State-owned Vietnam Bank led the charge in unloading foreclosed properties, from luxurious 4- and 5-star hotels to various prime real estate. That amounted to a jaw-dropping $337 million worth of assets, all to cover unpaid debts. And Vietnam Bank was not alone. BIDV and Sacombank also started selling off collateral in a desperate attempt to clear out bad loans. The market took a beating, and it wasn't just about debts. Scandals rocked investor confidence. High-profile figures such as the FLC chairman who was arrested and also the chairwoman of Vang Tân Phạc rattled the real estate market. Luxury shops in Ho Chi Minh City's priciest neighborhoods had to shutter down, and property values in District 1 had a staggering plunge. Land in the suburbs dropped by 30 to 50%. And on top of that, 70 to 80% of the brokers in the northern region of Vietnam had to shutter their doors. They even had to turn to selling insurance and coffee in order to make ends meet. Now, with the market this battered, you would think that you needed radical changes to fix it. So let's take a look at how the government is trying to do that. Enter the land law of 2024. The government's solution to the issue. They rushed this reform into action after the crash, hoping to attract foreign buyers of Vietnamese descent to pour in billions of dollars of annual remittances. On paper, this looks great, but in reality, the new law has not delivered. The real estate market remains stagnant, with housing prices creeping up and very few signs of life in the housing market. But you want to know why? Because these solutions are not addressing the core issues facing the housing market. And if you're curious about the nitty-gritty flaws of this new law, we made a video and you can click on the right-hand corner to watch all those details. So is the situation getting any better? Not quite. Let's take a look at what they're calling the rebound. So fast forward to 2024, and we're hearing about a miraculous revival in Ho Chi Minh City. A 6 to 7% growth, a handful of high-end commercial housing projects approved, and a promise of 1,011 new luxury units on the horizon. Sounds like a booming market, right? But look closer. Affordable and mid-range housing are missing. In the last 9 months, the Vietnam Association of Real Estate Brokers has been touting this rebound as a result of policy improvements and infrastructure projects. And yes, foreign capital is coming in, and interest rates have stabilized. For some banks, it's even 5% fixed for 3 years. But firms are cutting down on their staff, supposedly making the broker industry smarter and more efficient. But if you're scratching the surface, then this recovery might be nothing more than just window dressing. Now let's talk about the sky-high prices. Since 2019, prices in Ho Chi Minh City have steadily risen. And in Hanoi, there has not been a new project approved in the last 5 years. Demand keeps rising while supply stays stagnant. That's not a surprise because prices are ballooning. But here's the kicker. The high prices are not driven by real demand, but rather driven by speculation. Without new housing to meet actual needs, speculators are inflating prices, leaving the average Vietnamese buyer completely priced out. This has led to an unhealthy imbalance. More dollars, but fewer options. The increases in prices may look like growth, but underneath, it's actually a big strain and pressure on the system. Before we jump into the legal obstacles facing investors, there's one thing that's very important. 80% of you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, and we would love for you to be in the 20%. So you may be lurking, you may be viewing, but you're not subscribing. It only takes 2 really quick seconds, and it's free in order for you to do it, but it will really help us to continue to share insights, information, and up-to-date knowledge of the real estate market in Vietnam, and it may help you save some money and also find the right property. So now let's get back to the legal obstacles. All right, so this is where things get dicey. Legal roadblocks. The Vietnam real estate landscape may seem appealing, but locals and foreigners are facing serious obstacles. In the first 8 months of 2024, apartment availability dropped by over 94.9%, leaving only 14,286 units on the market. Meanwhile, mergers and acquisitions have hit a dead end due to the law on real estate business, which requires sellers to clear all financial obligations before transferring assets. That red tape is stalling the market and keeping much-needed capital on the sidelines. Foreign investors especially are feeling the pinch with limited land availability, legal restrictions, and bureaucratic hurdles that are causing their residential investments to become a minefield. Saville's Vietnam Senior Director of Investment highlights that the focus has shifted to commercial spaces, offices, malls, resorts, and industrial parks, where returns are in the 6 to 8% range. For those looking at residential properties, there's slim pickings and slimmer chances of you finding the property that you want. So let's clear some things up before the trolls come out of the woodwork. In Vietnam, the owning of land as a foreigner is not what you may think. Foreigners cannot own land. They can only use the land with a term of 50 years and a renewable term of another 50 years. And they only actually use the building on the land and not own the land outright. Moreover, foreigners have other restrictions as well. Foreigners cannot own more than 30% of all the units in a condo building, and they cannot own more than 10% of any housing project. Wanting to own land for business or agricultural purposes, that's generally off limits too. But at least a leasehold is better than nothing. Vietnamese citizens, however, can own the land as a freehold estate, which means they can develop it, sell it, or even pass it down without any of the restrictions that foreigners have. So what is the solution for permanent investment in Vietnam? The Vietnamese citizenship. With your Vietnamese national ID, you can have all the full bundle of rights of owning land in Vietnam and jump out of the leasehold category, where you can develop, sell, collateralize, get loans, or do anything with the land itself. And that's where we come in. Our firm has over 15 years of experience helping foreigners to buy real estate in Vietnam. We have helped hundreds of Vietnamese descent in order to get their Vietnamese citizenship. Interested? Reach out to our team and we'll be happy to guide you every step of the way, from getting your Vietnamese passport to your national ID, and then buying the property and transferring properly in your name. If you have more questions about the Vietnamese citizenship, we created an entire playlist of over 20 videos, so you can click on the right-hand corner to watch all of those videos that will answer 99% of all your questions. Well, so what is the fix for the Vietnam struggling real estate market? It's quite complicated and it's not as easy as just flipping a switch. But here are some thoughts on how we can stabilize things. Number one, building affordable housing. Instead of focusing on luxury condos, developers can build for the average income buyers. With more affordable housing, this will balance the market. Number two, simplify regulations for foreign buyers. If you streamline the process and create an easy to follow, structured regulations, then foreigners will be able to invest more easily, and of course, with that, they will invest more. Number 3, reduce interest rates and improve credit access. If the government is trying to help the Vietnamese buy, then they will need to reduce the interest rates and also lower the criteria for younger families and first-time buyers to be able to buy their homes and get a mortgage. Thus, this will improve the sales numbers. Number 4, cut the red tape. Streamlining Vietnam's real estate regulations will increase investor confidence and speed up development. Number 5, invest in infrastructure beyond the big cities. Infrastructure development in the rural areas and suburban areas will relieve a lot of the stress and demands of coming into big cities like Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi. This will make real estate accessible to everyone. Number 6, discourage speculation. With real estate policies that target speculative buying, this will cool down the inflated prices and make a healthier market for actual buyers. Well, is the Vietnam real estate market bouncing back, or is this just a carefully constructed illusion? What you see are high-end luxury projects, rising housing prices, and speculation. On the surface, it may seem like there's a recovery, but if you dig deeper, then the cracks will start to show. Affordable housing is still out of reach of many. Legal regulations are keeping foreign investors at arm's length. And speculative buying is keeping prices high without creating real value. So in my opinion, in order for Vietnam to recover in its real estate market, there has to be more than just high-end condos and causing speculation. There has to be a real focus on changing the policies for foreign investors to easily buy in Vietnam. Also, affordable housing so that we're not so dependent on these high-end apartments and luxury projects that most of the people cannot afford. And finally, the regulations for Vietnamese overseas to be very clear on what they need in order to buy properties in Vietnam. If the government can focus on all of this, then the private sector can go back to selling more properties in Vietnam, and hopefully that will save the Vietnam real estate market. So with all that said, I want to say thank you very much for watching this video. I hope we provided useful information for your purchase in Vietnam as a foreigner and as Vietnamese overseas, or even as a local Vietnamese as well. So on behalf of Duong Global, my name is Ken Duong. Thank you very much for watching this video. But make sure that you like our Facebook page, follow and subscribe to all of our social media, and of course our YouTube channel. Comment below if you're thinking about buying real estate in Vietnam, and of course click on the bell for notifications. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.